All right.
And
we're back. All right.
Finally.
Yep. Come on. We'll get there. All right. Come on. See, everything's good except YouTube. Isn't that weird? Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Hey,
Ryan
Hey,
Mathis.
Ryan Mathis. Good to hear from you, buddy. Okay, and you came in at a good time. Yeah, because we're talking money, and we're talking about how to move money from home country to Vietnam, which is an important idea, right? So anyway, and we had to restart the stream. Oh, sorry, Ryan. Yeah, dude. Visa related stuff. And yes, you could call it a slacker thing. You definitely could. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't be wrong, my friend. Pardon me. I'm doing my best, but actually I always tend to be or find myself available as often as we can, meaning I do my best with as many folks as we can. But anyway, yeah, and by the way, Ryan, there's other folks that are going to be hopping on shortly. But yeah, if you wanted to, if you have any questions off the bat, then yeah, you can feel free to fire away on those. And right now, it'll just take me a minute. I'm just sharing sharing this link with other folks. So let's see, just right. Nope, not on here. It's not ready yet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll make it work though. So anyway, yeah, man, are you? Yeah, you, Ryan. You can maybe tell us, brother. Are you in Vietnam now, or are you looking forward to making it out here in the future? Either way, there's kind of tips and different angles and aspects. What do you? So again, you let me know what we can help with, because we're sitting here with Bong. Let's just say. And answer a lot of great questions in terms of again, how to handle life and that kind of thing. So anyway, so we covered a lot of things, including cutting ties, digitizing your life, handling your taxes best you can, back in the States, setting up a new phone call and phone number. Oh, okay, Ryan, you're thinking about moving out. Okay, well, that's terrific. Yeah. Yeah, so in this regard, that's absolutely terrific. And I'm telling you, brother, this can be the best decision of your life, in my own opinion, or it can be the worst. So, yeah, maybe you can help me out where you're coming from, or again, if you have other questions in that regard. But in short, moving here, your lifestyle is going to get considerably cheaper and considerably easier. So, in my own opinion, a lot less stuff to worry about. So the main thing that we're trying to talk about here is reducing all the shit you don't need. Basically, is the main huge idea. Friends you don't need, stuff you don't need, expenses you don't need, and ultimately, the reason I love Vietnam is it's easy to have a simple life. So what that means is have a lifestyle that is where you can sit for one day in a coffee shop, let's just say, with no phone, no messages, no emails, no shit to worry about, no bills that have got to be paid, nothing to really worry about and concern yourself to draw your attention away, to really finally be able to what do you call it? Wake up, or really be able to, be spiritually pure or have your mind clear and that kind of thing. Life of real things. All right, we're
back. Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, welcome back. So, yeah, so we were talking about being able to move money around, and what I can say, nice and simple, is that your Charles Schwab card is the best way to do it. Because there's no fee ATMs, and even if the ATM does charge a fee, they give you your money back. Yeah. And okay, I was in the Army from 2000 to 2010. Good for you. My goodness. Thanks for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Yep. And 2 years in Korea. Now Korea. Hey, Melo Cardenas. Hola.
Hola, amigos.
Yeah. Bienvenido. Yo nunca fui a Sudamérica. Well, yo fui a Sudamérica en 2001. Yo fui a Perú. Estaba un voluntario, en Perú. Estaba fantástico. Absolutamente fantástico. Pero yo nunca fui a Colombia. Pero buena suerte. Ojalá que pueda ayudar aquí, ¿no? And 7. Yeah.
I speak 3. So.
Yeah. You got the French down. Yeah. Anyway, maybe 10. I don't remember. But either way, Melo, you were asking some questions about, again, moving. Simple answer. You could show up with nothing. Okay? You could show up with no physical possessions, clothes on your back, and 0 luggage. You could do that. So let's start there. Coming here with nothing, because that's like the pinnacle of what we're after. Now you can't be 0, 0, 0, 0, because what you actually would really need would be a bag about this size, and the things that you would need obviously include your passport. You need that, and other miscellaneous paperwork. Now, small examples of things that you might need would be like, let's say, clean criminal background check, for example. Or if you were formerly married and you plan on getting married in Vietnam again, which doesn't apply to you, but I'm just saying in general, yes, have paperwork in that regard, ideally digitized. If you have a college diploma, bring that, some basic paperwork stuff. But again, all of that can fit in one bag like this. So you need some paperwork, but other than that, clothes on your back. It's nice to have a phone, but then again, you can get a phone here, can't you? If you got all your information digitized on pictures on the cloud, you're good to go. You're really good to go. And you should have that anyway, even if you do bring a bunch of extra stuff. But I cannot think of a single thing that I would really need, from my home country here that you can't buy here. I mean, here we are in Saigon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you need anything from e-cigarette to a special spice from home. You've got it, so you can buy everything you need right here. I've got a buddy of mine. He only travels with a simple little fanny pack. Every time he travels internationally, even he went to Mexico for a month, one fanny pack. Because you show up, buy a toothbrush there, buy a hairdryer when you get there. And then when you leave, throw it away or give it away or something like that. So you could come here with nothing. And actually, if you did, that'd be ideal. Exceptions to this include if you're, let's say, over 2 meters tall, okay, it's going to be slightly harder to buy clothes and buy shoes and stuff like that. Sure. But then again, you could get them custom made while you're here. Custom made shirts and custom made pants.
But
shoes.
Recently, with all the foreigners coming in, there are shops that sell like extra large clothing.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm a big guy. So I can always find that kind of clothing anywhere, nowadays. But before, I have to have them custom made.
Right.
But now, with all the foreigners coming in and from America, white people or anything like that, or, foreigners or Western people, they are twice as big as Asians. And, we open our market and we sell big clothes now, so
yeah,
it's very easy to live in Vietnam.
Right. You don't need a whole lot else other than paperwork, so you're going to be quite delighted there. And I was going to say, Melo, vas a encontrar que Vietnam es más seguro que Colombia, probablemente. You know, no hay crimen, no tienen que preocupar. It's a really safe place, and you're going to love it, you know, here in that regard. You can walk around at midnight alone as a woman, not really worry about it. You know, there's no gun, generally speaking. Yeah, there's no guns, crime. You know, there's some petty stuff, might steal a phone, but you don't really got to worry about it too much. We're looking for a safe place. Well, that's terrific. That is really terrific, and I think you'll be delighted. Now, I did want to go there for a moment because, look, I actually, me encanta Mexico. You know, I love Mexico, and I actually thought that that would be a place I would want to live long run, mostly because of the friendliness, the food, the activity, the how people love to sing and dance, and you know, the people are just so smiley and friendly, and so I love that. And yes, I have met a lot of people from Colombia and South America. Same thing. People are friendly and awesome. And I wanted that in my life. So yes, I did consider living in South America and or Mexico full time. However, when I discovered Vietnam, it has all of the most of the wonderful aspects of Mexico and South America, and then some extras. For example, in my opinion, the food is better here. It just is. You know, we actually can eat vegetables, for example. The food is healthier. It's not just cheese and meat. The carne, you know, you got a little, you got the healthy food options in general.
Exactly. And for my Mexican friends, we now have a lot of Mexican restaurant here in Vietnam,
Okay,
and it's tasty. It is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, tacos al pastor. You know, yeah, for example.
Taquitos, burritos.
Yeah. But along the way, it's just plain safer here. It's just plain safer. So what that means is, yeah, again, for raising children, for example, I would much rather raise my children in Vietnam than I would in America, for that matter, let alone in Mexico. Kidnapping doesn't exist. Guns just don't exist. Not even the police. Hell, you look at the policemen and they're just like skinny guys, like 45 kilos, just sitting there with a little waving baton. Yeah, that's about as secure as you need to be. And they probably don't do a damn thing all day. No. So the point is, it's a nice balance of the joy, the fun, the friendly people, the wonderful stuff there, mixed with the safety and great music, great food, other aspects of culture, and that kind of thing.
As long as you stay in the legal law, then
stay
within the law, then there's nothing going to happen.
Yeah, all pretty easy. Okay, cool. So do you think Airbnb is a good option to rent an apartment for a start? Is it easy to rent a long-term place for us?
Now
I got this one. Or go ahead, unless you want to start.
First off, Airbnb in Vietnam is still a new aspect.
Okay.
You know, and they might overcharge sometime.
Definitely, by the way. Yeah.
Because in Vietnamese market right now, they know Airbnb is a normal thing for Western people, but it's not a new thing. Well, it is an old thing for Western people, but it is a new thing in Vietnam.
There we go.
So some of them, they can, how do you say it? Take advantage of it, and they can overcharge you.
Yep.
For your for their services and whatnot. So
that's true. Thank you. And you. So does it work? Yes. And
it works, but you have to pay more.
That's right. For example, just to give you some real numbers, and I'll use American dollars, or I could use dong. Maybe I'll use both. But the thing is, Airbnb has the rating system. They got their legalities banged out. It's in English already, and a lot of times they take credit card. Ding, 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 which is handy, convenient, and straightforward. However, there's hidden costs with that. In other words, exactly like you said, it just plain costs more. Mm-hmm. So, like, you can look around on YouTube for cost of living in Saigon, and you're going to find some people pay, like one chick, she was paying $800 for a one-room apartment she found on Airbnb. Ouch! Ouch! That's like, what, 18 million?
Yeah.
Ouch! I spend less than that in my entire life. Now, my house in Hue is 200 American dollars. So let's say 5 million. Now we're talking, okay? So it's going to cost way more to do that. And
honestly, that's still a high price. $200.
I'm cool with that. But yeah, I got a 5-bedroom. Yeah.
Oh, 5 bedroom with $200, and
Yeah, now
that's
we're
a
talking.
win. That's
Yeah,
definitely a win.
yeah. Now, moving forward, though, I did want to say that in this instance, homestays is going to be what you're going to want. Okay? Homestays. Okay? To give you an idea, now, the homestays, you will find them on TripAdvisor from time to time, among other places. But the point is, a homestay is a great option because A, they can legally rent to foreigners, which is a big one. B, it's usually run by a Vietnamese family. And in certain regard, it can be similar to Airbnb. But C, and speak, most homestays will give you the room, AC, TV, hot water, all the stuff you need, sometimes a balcony, among other things. But you also have access to the full kitchen. And in a lot of cases, you will meet other people that are renting rooms out in that area, which is terrific. So there's a lot of great aspects of going to a homestay. Now, I can't speak for the prices in Saigon. If you were to look around, you'll find this. But in Hue City, you can get a really nice homestay for like 7 million, which is 7 million Vietnamese dong, which is roughly about 300 American dollars, maybe 320.
Also, when you speak about ACs, air conditioning, that is also one thing you have to get accustomed to. Like, not every place you rent will have air conditioning,
That's true.
and the weather and the heat. Vietnamese is known for their heat, and there is something you have to get accustomed to. You might not have, get an air conditioner in a room you stayed in. You have to get familiar with a fan, electric fan.
That's right. Coming from Colombia, you're doing okay, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
You're, it's about like Colombia. All right, there we go. Now, okay, homestays, are they pet friendly? Excellent question. And it really, let me think. I want to give you an accurate answer. Okay, each homestay is a little different, and pets are all a little different. Now, to be fair, a handful of homestays, in my own experience, actually, they already have pets. So take that into account. Also, what I would recommend to folks, and this is what I always recommend to folks, specifically coming into Hue City where I live, get a normal kind of cheap hotel for your first few days. Like let's say 3-4 days. But spend that time shopping around to homestays. And you could go to 10 homestays in one day, no trouble at all. And then just bring it up to them directly. Just tell them, hey, I got a pet, or I got a dog, let's just say. Cool.
And one thing about pets in Vietnam, homestay, they don't really care about, if you have a pet or not. As long as you can keep it clean, you clean it after your pets, and it's fine. But one thing, though, is you have to protect your pet.
Oh.
Like, there are a lot of pet snatchers in Vietnam, but if you can keep it secured, keep it in your home, then it's fine,
Yeah, if you let your because if you have a dog, for example, don't just go out to let your dog run around in the street. Because for a few reasons. One, it's just plain dangerous. Maybe your dog is not used to motorcycles everywhere. Let's just say maybe they're going to get lost in a new city. That's quite reasonable.
Or worse, they could attack other people, and
God forbid,
God forbid.
But things like that. And yes, pets do get stolen. It's a thing. For whatever reason, they won't steal your kids. They won't break into your house and steal your shit, but they might steal your pet. That's very real. So be aware of that. So I'd be smart, I guess, the simple thing. But anyway, thank you. Now, getting a homestay lined up is pretty straightforward. Now, there's a huge advantage to having a homestay, and that is contracts or lack thereof. What that means is normal apartments that you normally rent, you've got to sign a contract for 6 months or a year. And either way, you got to pay 6 months up front normally. Sometimes you have to pay a whole year up front. That's true in Hue. I would imagine that's true here. So, which is fine, but the thing is, when you're first showing up here to sign a 6-month contract in a city you've never been for a house you've never seen, is kind of ridiculous. If you have a homestay in contrast, well, you can do it week by week or month by month, and a lot of times they're going to prorate it. For example, it'll be 6 million for 1 month, but you want to stay a month and a half. Oh, 6 million plus 3. Oh, 9. Done. And you can pay when you leave. Perfect. Or pay month to month. So homestays are an excellent option, and I really think is better than Airbnb. If you have to pay by credit card, you could. That kind of thing. And yes, they have full ratings and stuff like that. So TripAdvisor and homestays would be the best way to go. And they'll actually say on their TripAdvisor page, friendly or not. And you can send them a message and that kind of thing if you have further questions on it. So, cool. Ryan, I have a real question. We can't buy a car, but can we buy a Harley?
Okay. One thing about traveling in Vietnam, having a like a bike or something, don't buy a Harley. It's cool as shit to have it, but it's not advisable. First of all, it's expensive as shit.
Way expensive.
It's way expensive. Secondly,
like $100,000.
If it breaks down, you won't find a place to repair it. And if repairing that shit is almost as costly as buying one.
Right.
So in Vietnam, of course, it is a land of motorbikes, and you can buy one for maybe $100.
Right.
You can get just get accustomed to a Vietnamese bicycle, or as they call it, mopeds.
Yeah. Say my.
Yeah. Say my. Yeah. Kind of like that.
So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Expensive. Unreasonably expensive. Really, really unreasonably expensive to repair. But the theft part. I mean, man. Oh my God. Like. How many locks are you going to put on? And mind you, they're not a violent. Okay, if I have to get rid of my Harley, I have to get one there. Hey, man, if you're 100% Harley, dude, go for it. In fact, I think in Saigon they do have a Harley shop here.
They do. But one thing though is riding in Vietnam is not like riding in the States. Why? Because first of all, there are thousands of other motorcycles here. And to travel with a Harley with a big ass rig like that, it's gonna get, it's gonna get uncomfortable. Because imagine you're riding on a road with, soaring heat, and with a big ass Harley like that, it's gonna get heavy. And you can't just go like 100 miles per hour for a long run. You have to travel very, very slow, and you gotta make, it's not advisable to travel with a Harley in the city or anywhere.
But you're a smart guy, so maybe you've thought of that kind of thing
but
already.
Honestly, in Vietnam, with maybe a quarter of a price of a Harley, you can get like a cool ass motorcycle or a moped. And it's a lot lighter, and you can travel as good, a lot better, I might say. And not to mention the gas prices here. Too.
Yeah. That's another bit of a factor. But the other thing here is, don't need it. Repairing, theft. Okay, getting a car, you could, and actually, you could technically get a car. Now, you do technically need a driver's license at that point, as well. So bear that all in mind, while we're on it. In other words, you can't apply to get an international driver's license while you're here. There is a process for that. So bear that in mind. Do you 100% need it? Not really. You could get away with just your license from your home country and make it happen. However, again, when you're with a car, it's a whole nother kettle of fish. Like they're a lot more strict on that, which is good. So you've got to have insurance. You got to have it properly, the paperwork all straightened out, that kind of thing.
And if you're talking about cars, getting a car in Vietnam, it's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Even for foreigners now, they have a very high car tax rate.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on to, if it's Asian brands, it is around 120% tax. If it Western
VAT
brands,
tax, import tax, luxury
import
tax. Yep.
Western vehicles, it's 200%. so it's not advisable. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get a Ford, for example, it's going to be $100,000. It's going to be the cost of a Tesla to get a car here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But more to the point, it's impractical. To have a car here is impractical no matter what city you're in for a few reasons. One, it travels slower than a motorbike by a long shot. So it might take you 3 times longer to move around. So at that point, damn. 2, where do you park the damn thing? I mean, the way they do, yeah. I mean, yeah, like all of a sudden you're limited 95% of the places you would normally live. You can't live there anymore because where do you put your car? Maybe you have to rent like off-source parking space. Well, at that point, now you got to take a motorbike all the way over to where your car is and then get into your car, drive that to your destination and park that blocks away from your destination. What was the point of having a car?
Right. And imagine parking your car. If you know, like parking your car in the States in a hot day,
Mhm.
you know, when you go in there, it's like super hot. It's like, and there's 7 in Vietnam.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's impractical for tons and tons and tons of reasons. And you're not saving anything. You could take a taxi around for the rest of your life, and it would still be cheaper than like hell, the cost of gas and insurance alone. Even if a car was free, even if I got a free car in Vietnam, I still wouldn't take it. It still wouldn't be worth it, and it still wouldn't be cheaper. So that's worth that's my word on transportation. You know, it's yeah, just kind of do it in the Vietnamese way, I guess.
Mopeds all the way.
Yeah, if you will. So cool. And yep. The cool things. Now going back to getting established here when you first come here. Okay, we've got the housing thing. Now you're going to want to come with valid points. I have the mindset of going full wild and living rural. Okay. Well, that's good to know there, Ryan. Now, by that, I think you mean living outside a major city, not Saigon. Okay. You're going to be better off in that instance. You're going to be, oddly enough, or shockingly enough, yeah, that can be an excellent way to go. Okay, and let's go there. Living rural versus major city. Okay, rural versus major city. There's a few major considerations here. Okay. The number one thing, and I keep repeating this over and over, is the Vietnamese language. So to say this all a different way, when you're living in downtown in a major city, in a lot of ways, your life can be a little bit easier, linguistically speaking. That means that most folks speak English. Like if I walked here into this coffee shop and ordered only in English, I would get my drinks. Now, but most importantly, I can talk with or anybody can talk with other English speakers, reasonably speaking. Now, in the countryside, yes, I speak Vietnamese, and everyone else speaks Vietnamese. You're going to need that, okay? And if you don't speak Vietnamese and you live in a rural area, you're going to be lonely, my friend. You are going to be super lonely. I mean, sure. Is there going to be an occasional 1 out of 50 people that speak English? Sure. But do you want to hang out with 2% of the population? It's going to be less fulfilling and fun than you think. I've been using your web link for language and YouTube. Oh, okay, terrific. You know?
And one other thing to say is when you live in a rural area, not all of them have internet. So you're going to be disconnected from the world.
They're better now, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, they are getting better now, but like I said, in rural places, they're not always going to have internet. And God forbid, when your motorcycle or whatever you broke down, if you don't have the language, it's very difficult to have it repaired. And if you have a Harley, Ryan, then that's yeah.
But
they don't have Harley parts in in the mountains. They don't have Harley.
Right. So you get a Harley by all means, but at that point have 2 bikes. Okay, have your daily driver and then have your Harley. And if you had 2, you're doing good. Again, for an extra $100, you got yourself a little pot of room.
The idea of living in the wild, or just cross traveling with a bike in Vietnam, that is one of the top experience that you can have in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, beam and room. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Conan. Yeah, this is Fat
Conan.
Dong.
Oh, Fat Dong.
Yeah, right. Welcome back, buddy. Yeah. So, actually, speaking of making a leap here and changing countries and cities, Fat Dong recently let it all burn back home in Wisconsin and moved to California.
San Diego.
Yeah,
San Diego or San Francisco?
San Diego. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And correct me where I'm wrong. But that is coming here to Asia is a bigger leap than going from America to America. But there is certainly some cultural things to consider, and there are some similarities, written into both. Now, again, living in major cities and rural, what you will find is if you're in smaller cities and living out in the wild, San Fran is too cold. Okay, that might be true. We got plenty of heat here. Yeah. Now, you need Vietnamese, yes, but you're also going to find a lot of things to be more convenient. Specifically, here's an idea. In Vietnamese, it is xuong, xuong, xuong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and xuong. Now, we don't have a word for this in English, but xuong, correct me where I'm wrong, is kind of like the friendliness and the love that people have for each other. And we could also define it as like maybe don't have much money, but still have a wonderful life.
No, well, there is a word in English. It's sung in the English is close to comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Friendly,
Yeah.
comfortable.
But comfortable in a very positive way.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the reason I bring this up is xuong. You're going to find this in smaller neighborhoods and in smaller towns for sure. This love that everyone has for each other, and that kind of thing.
Or in some terms, you can say you have a swagger life.
Swagger. I like that.
Yeah,
Swagger. Yeah. Now, here would be some examples of that, which would be different.
Go to the restroom real quick.
Yeah, which would be different than living in a major city. For example, I go to the same soup lady every day in my corner. Everyone in my neighborhood knows who I am, and they all know my name. When I'm going down the road, I wave to all kinds of folks, probably 10 times an hour. When I need my bike repaired, I just swing it over to my neighbor's house, and he never charges me. Oh, maybe an oil change, I'll pay for the oil, but no worries. If I need to go downtown, but I don't want to bike or ride there or whatever, I could probably just go get a cup of coffee and look left, look right, ask. Someone will just drive me there. No charge, no cost. And so it's super friendly. I always have someone to talk to, always have someone who knows who I am, and always have someone who's able to help. That kind of thing, right? Now, you don't have that if you go downtown and become an anonymous person downtown of a major city, because just due to the number of people here, right? So that feeling of xuong, if you go out to the wild, go out to the mountains, go out to a smaller town, you're going to feel that a lot more. And similarly, if you go to, let's say you all wanted to move to Nha Trang and you had questions about that, Melo. And that's great. And in fact, once again, if you get out of the major city itself and get maybe you can go 5K out of town and be on a nice, next to a waterfall, next to the beach and that kind of thing. Yeah, you're going to find amazing people there. And it'll be a nice balance of all worlds, get out of the high rises, get out of the big major cities, and try to find a new place to have that comfortable life, I think is the big idea. And now when it comes to budgeting, whoa, look at my misspelling. There it is. The thing is here, when you're moving to a major city versus moving to a rural area, obviously rural is going to be cheaper for a few reasons. You're going to probably spend less gas, most likely. You're probably going to need less stuff. Food and drinks and stuff like that will probably cost a lot less. Coffees here are 40,000 versus in my neighborhood they're 5,000. Yeah, so it's 8 times cheaper.
Well, it
Because
depends on the place.
that's true. That's totally true.
Like this place have a very
Waterfalls
nice
and-
waterfalls, and compared to a sidewalk cafe, it's a different.
That's right. That's right. Now, here's the thing, and the reason I bring up the money and budgeting thing is you need cushion money. Yeah, cushion money. Okay. And what I mean by that is an example of a bad idea would be coming here to Vietnam broke, or coming here with only like $2,000, 2,000 American dollars or something like that. It's going to be tight. Okay. What that means is there's a lot of folks that come here trying to start a new life. But they got to get a job immediately and take the first job opportunity that comes along because they don't really have any other choices. That sucks. Maybe people have to sign a 1-year contract because they need to save money and need money today. Ouch. Maybe people run into visa issues of some kind and they need to get that sorted. Ouch. Don't get trapped. Don't be so close to the line that you can't make it. Now, the obvious next question is, what kind of cushion money do you need? It depends on the person, but I would say definitely don't come here with less than 2,000 American dollars. Okay, that would be, I would consider like the minimum to be safe and to not have to worry quite so much. 4,000 or 5,000 American dollars would be better, much better. But the thing is, once you start working, you only need 500 to 1,000 a month to kind of be sustainable. So anyway, this is a great example right here of you're going to want to plan ahead on this one. Also, when you move in, maybe you're going to have that 6-month contract and you need to pay to rent a house. You need to pay 300 American dollars a month times 6. Ooh, 1,800 right there, day one, to walk into an empty house with no possessions. Wow. Ouch. That's going to be rough. Maybe you're going to have to buy a bunch of clothes. You're going to need furniture. You got to get a motorbike, let's just say. That kind of thing. If you come here without enough money, then you got to get immediately right back to work. You defeated the purpose of actually coming here to Vietnam. You defeated the purpose because you're leaving a job and a busy, stressful money life to come here in order to be busy and stressful and worry about money again. Damn it. So, Ryan, lucky enough to have Army retirement. Oh, you're laughing. You're laughing. Yeah. If you got that, your only last stage is figuring out how to move money here, which is overall pretty simple. It's overall pretty simple. So you'll be doing damn good at that point. Now, speaking of piling up money and that kind of stuff, have multiple bank accounts with multiple different institutions and have multiple different kinds of accounts. Have a savings account and a checking account and a credit card with one institution, and then 1, 2, 3 with another institution, plus PayPal money, plus have as much as you can and have as much redundancy built in as you can. Okay. And that kind of thing. And yes, when it comes to money there, Ryan, having, let's say, I don't know how much money you got coming in, but I would expect maybe $1,000. Yeah, you're laughing, if you play your cards right. Now, speaking of money, I got to say it again. I'm telling you, speaking Vietnamese, okay? The more you speak, the cheaper it is. What? Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
3,400? You're laughing. You're laughing. Yeah.
You will have a very comfortable life in Vietnam with that money. Very, very comfortable.
You can't spend it fast enough. Well, if you got a Harley,
you can.
Yeah, if you got a Harley, I guess you would. But
even though with $3,400, with a Harley, I mean, for practicality in Vietnam, I would advise you not get a Harley.
Do what you want to do. Yeah. But well, okay. All right. Well, the fact remains. like again, speaking Vietnamese, yes, getting your bike repaired or renting a house, but where you eat food, what drinks you have and all that. If you speak Vietnamese, then your life is wonderful, comfortable. You can be friends with anybody, and you've got the shuang, you got the friendliness and the swagger, and you don't got to worry about it. If you need anything fixed, done, looked into, you need to buy something, look left, look right at a coffee shop, and it's bought and done, and you're set. So that's nice. In contrast, if you don't speak Vietnamese, every time you need something handled, every time you got to buy something, every time you want to rent a house, go to the bank, every single thing you do, call a taxi, you got to have someone do it for you. Damn. When you sit at a coffee shop, for example, surrounded by Vietnamese people in Vietnam, you can't talk to anybody. So you sit there silently on your phone. That's about it, man. And that's rough. That's rough. It's not as much fun as it could be. Now, to contrast that, in my own experience in my own neighborhood, when I need stuff done, I just go to the bar and I look left, look right. I need a friend of mine needs an air conditioner cleaned out and new Freon. Great. I look left. Hey, anybody here know about cleaning air conditioners? Oh, yeah, my neighbor does that. Oh, great. Can you pick up the phone and give him a call real quick? Sure. What time you need them? Oh, well, I got a friend of mine that needs them. It sounds like this, actually. Yeah, muốn rửa mãi lan. Yeah, và có một bạn mà có mãi lan. Yeah, và hy vọng mà ngày mai yeah, có thể đi nhà của em ấy và có thể rửa mãi lan. Và em ấy sống gần chỗ Thái Lộc. Yeah, đường bla 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 bla. Nhẹ lẹ. Like, oh, okay, yeah, cũng được. Yeah, sẽ đi lúc 3 giờ. Yeah, 3 giờ chiều ngày mai, okay? Yeah, được. All right, done.
Also, speaking Vietnamese could get you, like, you won't be ripped off.
Right, right. A good example of, thank you. I get a lot of expats that are here that are like, oh my God, I've been living here for a year and they keep overcharging me. Don't they know that I'm a local? And I just tell them, argue with them in Vietnamese in that case. And argue with them in Vietnamese. And they're like, well, I can't argue with them in Vietnamese. I don't speak Vietnamese. Oh, really? Well, tell me again about how you're such a local. Yeah, what were you saying? Yeah, refresh my memory. Yeah, right.
It's like living in Mexico without speaking Spanish.
Right. Yeah, living in Colombia without Spanish, like your life is tough. Living in America without English, it's really that same thing. You're going to have a damn hard time, generally speaking. Okay, once there for rural, is it a good investment for gold rings to keep liquid assets on hand? Good question. And how long does it take to speak that way? All right, well, one at a time. The gold rings thing. Yes, you can in general. A lot of people traditionally have bought gold. And is it a liquid asset? In general, yes. And generally speaking, could you do it? Buy rings, buy bars of gold and bullion and keep them and then sell them back at the appropriate time? Yes. Is it a good investment in terms of like gaining interest, etc.? Maybe, but I doubt it.
Actually, it is a practice in Vietnam now for people to buy, gold, or they put investment in lands. They can buy land for Vietnamese people, but for foreigners, I say just stick to gold rings and probably have it in a bank and put it in a safe house. You don't want to carry around a bunch of gold.
Right. Now, we got a bunch of gold for our wedding, let's just say, which is normal. And we had that stored at our house. But we ended up trading it all in for American dollars and putting that in an American bank account. And then it was just a lot safer because, God forbid, we've never been robbed or anything like that, but God forbid, we've got a bunch of gold sitting in our house. If we did get robbed, first thing they would do is go to our bedroom and start shredding that up looking for gold, because that's the easiest thing in the world to steal and move, right? So there is a security aspect. But yes, getting a security deposit box and putting it in there, that's probably a good idea. Now, carrying around cash on your person, you don't really need to. Again, get a bank account. So it's pretty straightforward in that regard. Yeah. Billions of dong, which would be hundreds of thousands of dollars, sitting in cash in a bank account, that's totally fine. If you want to hide your assets somehow, for example, if you're in the world of like, you got 50,000 American dollars that you want to hide, so to speak, I suppose, yeah, it's not a bad idea. You could do it. And you can buy and sell gold back and forth for about the same rate. And compared to inflation and stuff like that, it's not a bad hedge, hedging your bets.
I mean, have your asset or have your property in gold. Probably the best idea to keep your money, because if you have it in dongs, Vietnamese dong can it have a fluctuation. So,
That's right.
Keep it in dollars or keep it in gold in your in your savings, and when you need dongs, you just grab some and go to the nearest exchange station and you
Right.
exchange them out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, great. Melo, your question, how long does it take to speak decent Vietnamese? I would say not nearly as long as you think. Not nearly as long. In fact, most folks who I sit down with, within the first hour, they've got all the numbers figured out, and they got all the greetings figured out, and the pleasantries figured out in the first hour. I was teaching my buddy Henry online just once a week, for a couple hours at a crack. And it's maybe we've caught up 5-6 times. His Vietnamese is singing. He's going to have no trouble living a wonderful life here in.
It's all about if you're willing to use it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So I would say, like, learning Spanish, for example. Yeah, cuando yo fui a Sudamérica en Lima, ya podía hablar un poco, bastante. Puedo comprar o vender algo. Yo conozco números o lo que sea. Pero después un mes, puedo hablar español. But to be fair, every day I'm always learning something. So, yeah, like you said, you got to be willing to get out there and get after it.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of, let's say, I had a friend of mine, she wanted to repair the water pump on the waterfall in her house. Well, I know waterfall, and I know machine, and I know water, and I know pond, but I don't know what a pump is. Well, I got to look it up. Yeah, sure. So every day I'm learning a new word here and there. But in general, to become reasonably fluent, there's two answers. One, it'll take a lifetime and you never get there. Specifically, people who don't try. I have a lot of friends who've been here for 10 years, can't count to 10, can't introduce themselves, can't have a 2-minute conversation. Oh, I'll get immersed in there and I'll learn it fast. No, you won't. Because all of your friends speak English, all of your expat friends speak English, everywhere you go speaks English, and you only go to restaurants that speak English. When you're at home, you only speak English. Or Spanish, let's just say. All right, fine. You never learn it. It takes forever, infinite time. In contrast, if you make the point to only speak Vietnamese and you go to Vietnamese coffee shops and you drink beer with old Vietnamese guys and you order in Vietnamese, you do all the numbers in Vietnamese, and you make Vietnamese friends.
You have to constantly
start
using it.
Yeah.
Just a simple everyday. Like meeting new people, instead of saying hello, hi, you can say xin chao or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta use it.
That's right. That's right. The advantage, by the way, though, of Vietnamese is it's an incredibly simple language. They don't have plural. There's no verb conjugations.
And thank God we use alphabets.
And it's not like Thai or Japanese. You can pretty much read it. Like mon is spelled M-O-N. Awesome. TU is pronounced tu. Oh, terrific. It's really, really fast to learn.
Dong, D-O-N-G.
How about that? Yeah, come on. Yeah. So it's really easy to learn literacy. Most people are literate in Vietnamese in a half hour, and reasonably good at it. You can learn how to type in 6 minutes, generally speaking. To learn, to compare this with Spanish, for example, just to say in Spanish, to go. Well, you need about 60 words in order to really say it. Yo voy, tú vas, nosotros vamos. Okay. Now we're going to talk future. Irá, irás, iramos. Okay. What about past? Yo fui, fuimos. Now what about perfect tense? Yo he ido. Ellos, han ido. Change. Now, in Vietnamese, it is đi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
The beautiful thing about Vietnamese language is that we don't have tense.
right.
We don't use tense.
No conjugations. Yeah. Yep.
The word as it is.
Mhm. Right. So it's remarkably fast to learn. Tomorrow I D. Yesterday I D. In my childhood I used to D. Yeah. If I have the opportunity, I would like to. Otherwise, yeah. And that kind of thing. So it's a remarkably simple language and remarkably fast learning. And the grammatical structure is real basic. Sure, they have advanced poetry and advanced stuff, but the basics to get your point across, you could sum it all up on a note card. All the things that you need to know.
You just need to keep it up with the vocabulary.
Sure, of course, like any language, certainly. They got a word for everything. Yeah. Now, obviously, I do teach Vietnamese over Skype, and I'm happy and delighted to help folks. First lesson's free on top of that, so may as well. Plus, I've got a handful of free videos online on YouTube channel here that you're welcome to check out. Specifically, the top 10 words you need to party in Vietnam. Even Vietnamese people, they always laugh when I'm like, nope, you need 10 words, which include cheers, hello, thank you, eat up, drink up, go, stuff like that.
And Vietnamese people will be more than happy to teach you.
That's right. That's right. Yep. So there's a lot of advantages, like that. When I first learned Vietnamese, I checked your website. We'd love to take a class. Oh, well, that's terrific. And I can puedo explicarlo en español si quieres.
Where can I find your Skype info?
Oh, okay. Well, that's terrific. I'll just put it nice and simple. Yep, and I got a contact page on there, so you'll be able to find stuff pretty reasonably, I would think. But yeah, no, I love helping folks out, and everybody every single time is amazed at how easy it really is. Once we get the ball rolling, it really is. And Bong is a terrific teacher, as an example, as well. Now, I did want to say, I got tips on there. You'll look around on my YouTube channel here, and you'll find the top 10 tips to learn a language. Yep, just follow those. I mean, I can repeat them all right now, but it would be redundant. Also just spend time at a bar and a coffee shop and just talking to people casually. The same conversations keep coming up. What do you want to drink? How was your day? How old are you? Where are you from? Things like that. It's so repetitious, generally speaking, that you can have that mastered in one day. So that works out pretty good.
The key is to meet new people.
Yeah, that's right.
Meet new people. You interact with them. You will learn more. You will learn more than you just sitting on a computer and learning by yourself. Mm-hmm. The key is to go out there, meet new people. It's fine when you don't speak their language. I mean, sign language will work, and they will be more than happy to teach you along the way. Mm-hmm. It's all about the willingness.
Right.
You
get
go
in
out there and get in touch with the culture, get in touch with the languages, and
That's right. So my initial strategy when I moved to my tiny little neighborhood with that tiny little apartment, I had coffee with Vietnamese people every morning, and I got drunk with old guys every night. That's it. It's not a whole lot more complicated than that. Also, you're going to find things like open your mind. For example, I went into a marketplace my first year, and I just sat there and just listened. People are selling stuff. It's not very complicated, And once I figured out that the word kilo is key, oh well, that's pretty handy. And now,
and of course, kilo can be kilo.
Right. And then all of a sudden, I'm hearing the numbers: Mot, Hai, Ba, Bon, Nam, Sao, 1 through 6. All right, for example. Well, then people would say like Mot Ki, 1 kilo, Hai Chup, what is that? Oh, and then I watched them pay 20,000. Oh, okay. Nam Chup. Oh, someone just paid 50,000. Oh, Chup means 10,000. Perfect. Okay. So Mot Ki Hai Chup, Hai Ki Bon Chup. Oh, got it. Okay, 2 kilos is 40,000. Got it. That makes sense. So I'll bet 5 kilos is 100,000. What's 100? Oh, got it. So just sitting there in 20 minutes, I just listen, to people, and oh, got it. Now I can order and know all the numbers and buy anything and understand all prices in the marketplace. Done in 20 minutes if your mind is open. If your mind isn't open, you're like, that's just Vietnamese, blah, 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 blah. I don't need that. I don't understand what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Then you never learn anything ever, So that's kind of the idea here. Now, so to take it a little further, over time, you just learn things one by one. No, I'm not going to put the accents. I don't have the accents written on it, but the way I would say this in Hue is "Gainai. And that means, what is this? Once you know how to say that, now you can walk to a fruit market, "Gainai, and they'll just tell you straight up, "Gao, chui," or "Mang Gao," or whatever the case is, passion fruit, banana, melon. Yeah, they'll tell you right there. And in my case, I took pictures of it, and then I made little flashcards, so I learned all the fruit in like an hour.
And it is not just you who wants to know new languages right now, even in markets, because there are a lot of foreigners coming into Vietnam now. Even the shopkeepers wanted to learn, different languages. So, sometime you will meet a shopkeep that know fluent English for some reason because they are interact with a lot of customers who are foreigners and they learn new things. And with the young generation now in Vietnam, almost all of them knows English, and they will be more than happy to teach you, and you can teach them, vice versa.
There's a lot of opportunities in that regard, for darn sure, if your mind is open. Now, if you don't learn Vietnamese, you're forever closed. Yes, cultural exchange, absolutely. But if you're forever locked into a small world. For example, there's a lot of my friends that are English speakers only, and they've been here for years. Well, again, you're deaf, mute, and illiterate. That makes it hard. You can't even read a sign, and your life gets really inconvenient, in certain regards, and you're trapped into only making English-speaking friends, and that's about it. It's also a pain in the ass because some of my English-speaking only friends, I just cannot invite them out to dinner with us because 4 people speak Vietnamese only, 3 people are bilingual, and then my other friend who's monolingual English only, well, I got to translate my dick off like the whole time. And it bothers me because I'm like, God, open your mind a little bit. Man, this is a lot of work for me. I got to work for you. And now I have to have 2 conversations simultaneously plus a middle one. I mean, I'll do it, but man, it makes it less fun because, again, they're closed off into their tiny little world. So escaping that tiny world and opening your mind up to, again, speaking more Vietnamese is the winning ticket in every single regard. This is a micro example, but like there's a Hai Van Pass between Da Nang and Hue, which means normally if you take the tunnel, it could take you like 2 to 3 hours to get to between these two by car or motorcycle or Harley. Now, if you go over the mountain, zigzag up, zigzag down, that adds on an extra hour. Plus, it's a pain in the ass. A buddy of mine went to Da Nang and back and took the pass both times. And I'm like, dude, you're tired and exhausted because you had to work super hard on winding roads. And, I mean, it's beautiful. That's fine. But why? Why didn't you take the tunnel? And he's like, tunnel? What do you mean tunnel? And I'm like, damn it, dude. They have this big ass glowing. Oh, the sign's in Vietnamese. Shit. Yeah, there's this huge sign that says big old
And
tunnel
the path it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
For unseasoned, riders.
That's right. So all of a sudden, if he just this one word tunnel and just follow the sign, all of a sudden, whoop, you go right through the tunnel and your life is good and easy and fast and simple. If you don't speak Vietnamese, you're fucked. You got to do it all the hard way, And so this guy has been living in Hue City for 6 years and didn't know that there was a tunnel. Damn it. Stuff like that's one micro example, but there's hundreds of examples like that. So anyway, yeah, getting as much of the language under control ahead of time is an absolute winning ticket. Absolute winning ticket. And actually, getting to know that and then meeting people here in Saigon. How would you suggest going about that?
Well, for a new foreigner in town,
I'm gonna run to the bathroom, but yeah, how would you
all right.
socialize?
Well, meeting new people, for starters, you might go to foreigner focus zone in Saigon. Typically, it's called D1, and that would be a great place to start. And there, you will meet a lot of other foreigners, and of course, a lot of English speaking or Vietnamese. There, you will find a lot of young people in D1. Typically, only the young people that speak English nowadays. Another question about multiple entrances to Vietnam visa used in the country. Yes, for a foreigner, there are multiple ways you can acquire a visa. First of all, when you came here, I think you can only travel by a tourist visa. And what they do for like foreigners that live in Vietnam, they have several services that call a visa run.
Yeah.
Basically, what a visa run is, you go to Cambodia
Mm-hmm.
or Laos. You can find basically you passed by on the border and you came back. They will
That's right.
renew your visa. So that's one of the way you can renew a visa.
Yep. And
A cheap way.
that's right. That's right. No, the Vietnamese / Colombian government, let's just say, have all kinds of different options in that regard. But in general, there's a lot of people who've been here 10, 20 years just doing visa runs. That's just part of the game. And it's really easy to do is a nice, simple
Do
answer.
you ask for check?
No, of course not. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. No, get as long of a visa as you can initially. But yes, a normal tourist visa will do the trick. Now, again, really check the website and check the government website in your home country and the online website they have in Vietnam. Also, there's a lot of Vietnamese websites you can go to, maybe like this, and then they'll give you a full listing and stuff like that. So that makes things a lot easier.
For the life of real things, it's very difficult to begin something like Nha Trang, if you say. What do you mean by begin? Like a businesses or something like that?
To begin something like Natang.
I think.
You mean to start life? Start life in Nha Trang? I think it would be you'd have similar challenges no matter what city you go to.
Like a topic that we covered before about money and languages. If you get that on under control, then you can pretty much have a new beginning in anywhere.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Cool. Well, again, great. Thank you for clarifying that. And I would say, the internet's going to be rocking everywhere. You're going to have good people to meet everywhere if your mind is open. Actually, one interesting thing about Nha Trang is there's a lot of Russian people that live there, which is wonderful.
And Chinese.
Which is terrific. Yeah, so Nha Trang is a very diverse city. The expats are not just English speakers. So
it is a tourist.
That's right. That's right. So an American equivalent to that would be like Orlando, Florida, or maybe like
Nha Trang is the Miami of Vietnam.
Miami. There we go. Yeah, thank you. That would be a good metaphor. Beach city, that kind of thing. But regardless, it's pretty neat in that regard. So if you're looking for the beach city life and whatnot, that's great. Now, I have more experience in the city of Da Nang, which is very similar to Nha Trang, although, very similar. Also on the coast, similar weather, similar size, and that kind of thing. But it's up to you, really, where you want to live. It's not going to be a whole lot different, between the two. If you're a smart person, got your work figured out and whatnot, they're They're the same. And but overall, things to get started, like again, renting a house, about the same if you go the homestay option. Um,
Yeah.
Meeting people, getting
But,
involved in
in
groups.
Nha Trang, because it's a tourist city, it could be more expensive even to live in Ho Chi Minh City in Saigon.
hmm
The pricing is a lot more.
I would say that's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's probably true. But anyway, you'll make it work, in either case. Now, one thing that I offer to folks, and this might be relevant to any of y'all, is when you first get here to Vietnam, one thing I offer is like helping folks getting established, okay? Because when you first get here and getting established, there's some easy things like getting internet, that's easy. SIM card's pretty easy. Finding a place to live is pretty easy. But there's a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff that might sound small, but it adds up. Here's a couple of just really fast and simple examples, okay? One, I had a friend of mine, she's been here for 4 years in Hue City, but she had a problem buying beer. She'll buy a case of beer, and but then they need the bottle deposit back, but she didn't know that. So now all of a sudden this woman comes back asking for the empty bottles, and she hasn't drank them yet, and she gets angry at the woman, and the woman has no idea what English, Vietnamese, the wall. And then she gets super angry, like, oh, there's this bitch that lives across the street. I hate buying beer from that bitch because she always comes by and hassles me. I can't believe this, blah. But she just has no idea what the hell is going on. Now, in this case, I ended up going over and talking with her. She's not a bitch at all. She's a lovely, old woman. And I just asked, oh, what's the bottle deposit on everything? Oh, do you want 30,000 dong for 20 bottle deposit and then 40 for the plastic crate? Great. So if we give you 70,000 right now, you never need a deposit back again, ever. Awesome. Done. Oh, plus if we get your phone number and we can send Amanda can just send a text message anytime she wants beer and you'll just come and deliver it with free ice. Nice. So here you go, Amanda. Connect the phones, connect the numbers. All of a sudden she sends one text. Ding dong. Doorbell rings and beer's there. Never a worry ever again. So this stressful event and this anger between two people just disappears because she had, me standing in there in the middle to help arrange it. So that's one example out of 1,000, but those little things like that matter. So I should rent a room from you for a month and work on drunken language. Yeah, actually, or not even from me. You can rent a room from anybody. But look, man, it's not just about drinking. But the thing is, if you can drink and party with folks, then you can that's a foundation and you can do a lot more from there. But there's other small examples, like things in Vietnam are done on delivery, if you know that. And it's done on delivery if you know simple things like what street do you live on? You need your air conditioner repaired, or you need more gas or something. The next question they're going to ask is, where do you live? You got to know what that question is and how to describe where you live. But yeah, with a little help in an hour, I could show someone everything they need to know for delivering anything to your house. That's terrific. And that's a game changer. That's an absolute game changer. Foodie.com or foodie.vn, is an excellent, that's their Vietnamese TripAdvisor of food.
Yeah.
You got to know about that,
And in big cities now, in
Pardon
Hanoi or in Saigon, they have it's called Delivery Now, which is or Grab Food.
Grab food. Yep.
It is a food delivery. You can almost get a food from any restaurant deliver on your doorstep. With a little bit extra fees of delivery fee.
Yeah. Cheaper than getting it. But there's tons of examples like this that most people just plain don't know about, and their life is far more difficult here than it needs to be. So I think that's a big one. Getting furniture made. Do you know that in Vietnam they have the equivalent of Craigslist in America? But chotot, there you go. How do you read it? What does this mean? Yeah, and so forth and so forth. So those are the fun things to be able to help with. And yes, the average standard drunken language stuff too. Getting a motorbike arranged, handling legalities, getting a bank account set up, all that kind of magic. There is a heck of a lot of steps to getting out here. However, level one, simply getting here, established, surviving, having enough food, and not dying, that's easy. You won't have any troubles there.
With all the commodities in Vietnam, the only thing you need to do is just ask. You just ask around, and you'll find yourself a lot of commodities and a lot of ways you can find like food deliveries. Maybe you don't know about it, or maybe you've been living here for like 5 or 4 years. You don't know about it, and just one day you just simply, oh, I just want some food delivered on my door. Someone said, oh, okay, we already have that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know about that.
Off and running.
You just need to ask, and if there is a service for it, and you will know about it.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like when I learned Spanish, let's just say. When I teach Spanish, I'm just like, the first words you need, yo quiero. Start there. And then yo quiero ir. I want to go. I want to go. Great. Now you can order anything you want at any restaurant. Yo quiero café. Done. Yo quiero cerveza. Done. Yo quiero ir airport. Done. Hospital. Same thing in Vietnamese. Tôi muốn. Tôi muốn gọi or tôi muốn có, tôi muốn đi. I want to go. And if you want a banh mi sandwich, tôi muốn banh mi. Great. Someone's going to know something. So there are a lot of great things like this by knowing just a couple of easy words. You're grinning, you're laughing, you're having a great time. Also, kind of building up your own routine and what you end up doing in terms of how you build your day and that kind of thing. This is a big thing that changes once you come here to Vietnam. What I mean is your normal sleep schedule is different. When you eat food, what you eat for each meal, who you talk to normally in terms of your normal routine and that kind of thing. That all changes. How you get food delivered, what calories you have, your salt intake, how many vegetables you have. I'm drinking ginger tea. Never had this in America before. That kind of thing. So, man, that's hot.
Oh yeah.
But regardless, okay, you asked a terrific question. Okay, guys, about healthcare, the quality of health services. Is it easy for foreigners? Let's say I would need a dentist. Easy to find and manage all things related. Yes, and I'm super glad that you asked because, yes, as a matter of fact, I would say that, especially compared to other countries I've been to, it's very easy. So in America, in contrast, is quite difficult and expensive and requires a lot of money, credit cards, calling around, price shopping if you can, but sometimes you can't even price shop, that kind of stuff. Now, in Vietnam, I can just speak from my own experience. They have many tiers of, let's say, hospitals. What that means is if you want to go really high-level hospital, which means international hospital, everyone speaks English, doctors in full uniforms, like Bumrungrad International Hospital in Thailand. You got some of the best hospitals on earth out here in Asia. No doubt about it. Obviously, it's going to cost more, but a lot of people feel comfortable going to those particular places because they match up with what they've had at home. Now, when you keep going down the tiers, you've got more like normal quote-unquote hospital that Vietnamese people typically go to. Now, in those cases, you got to speak Vietnamese. That's all there is to it. Or go there with someone that does speak Vietnamese. Below that is another tier, which is clinics. So these are sometimes they're doctors that work at a hospital, and then they open up their little private clinic, maybe at their own house, for Christ's sakes. And you just walk in, and maybe they have a list of services that they do. They're not comprehensive, but maybe they only do x-rays, fix broken bones, and check your child if they have a cough. Something simple like that.
And the smart thing to do is, before you go to Vietnam, is maybe have your medical record. Like if you
got something special.
If you have anything special, or your general idea of medical record, if you have any allergic or anything like that, translate it. And when you caught that in Vietnam, at least you have it written down in like a document.
Right.
At least then you can show it to any kind of doctors, and they will know what's wrong with you. And we always have pharmacies 24/7.
Right, 24/7.
Yeah. And
yep.
sometimes they won't have that typical medicine that you use, but something similar.
Ah,
You know,
sure.
and yeah, exactly. And we have international hospitals, and which they can communicate with you by English. But the smart thing to do is knowing what kind of medical issues that you
Mhm.
have them translated, and just write it down in the note
Right on.
for emergencies or anything like
Hmm. Right. So, yeah, it's more similar to Mexico and South America than it is similar to America. What I mean is, yeah, they got pharmacies every block. I will bet within 1 kilometer of here, right here at this coffee shop we're
that.
sitting.
Less than a 12 month.
Yeah, I bet within a 1 kilometer radius, there's 5 pharmacies, and if they don't have it, they're going to have something similar. So that's pretty nice. Okay, Brad, you paid medical insurance. That I have a few answers for that. In the United States anymore? No. Does that hurt me on my taxes? Yes, because you're somewhat obligated to have it. Okay. 2, there's travel insurance. Now, travel insurance is bought from an American company and then covers you while you're traveling. Now, for a guy like myself, that can be upwards of $100 a month. And there's certain things they cover and certain things they don't. Now, I currently don't have that because things they don't cover include riding a motorbike in a motorbike accident. Don't cover it. Bang. Normal day-to-day kind of stuff, not really, or it's not worth the hassle. Here's an example. I ended up getting it. I got my bike. I got hit by another bike, late at night, and I ended up crashing, which is fine. I was all right, but I ended up breaking a couple ribs. No big deal. But look, I walked into a hospital and it was 90,000 dong to get an X-ray. Okay, which is like 4 or 5 American dollars to get an X-ray. And then it costs $2 to have a doctor look at it and say, yep, ribs are broken. Here's some pain meds. Have a good day. And then the meds were $2 or $3. Great. So by the time I walk out of there, it's less than 10 American dollars to walk out of a hospital with all this done. Why would I sit there and horse around contacting my insurance company, faxing over documents, translating this, hoping that they cut me a check and then remit that to my bank account in America, scan this check? Why would I horse around with it? I'll just pay the $10 and be done with it, right? So that's kind of the big point, is that it's not even worth it in my own particular case to have medical insurance. Now, if I had a family, I'm older, I have pre-existing conditions of some kind, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, get it. Now, I did want to tell you that they do have medical insurance available from American companies here in Vietnam. In other words, American pre-existing companies, I can't think of a name right off the bat, but Google it. They partner up with Vietnam. So they've got the security of, companies in America. And they also have the offices here in Vietnam. To shoot you some numbers, you're looking at about, it's going to be, this is absolute maximum. They do sell insurances specifically for expats and traveling folks that are coming out here. And the insurance in general that you get in Vietnam is way better than the insurance you would normally get in America. For example, in America, let's say I paid $200 a month, so we're talking more than this already, and the deductible is $5,000. Yikes. Okay, so that means even if I break a leg, the first $5,000 is on me, which happened, and it's done. In contrast, in Vietnam, their deductibles are pretty low, like a few $100. And some plans have no deductible. That means they cover you right out the gate. In America, they might do 80% coverage, but there's a lot of things in Vietnam they do 100% coverage, depending on what tier of plan you want. Plus, they'll do it for couples and that kind of thing. Does this sound right to you?
Yeah. And if you're working in Vietnam, some companies will offer you medical insurance, but not all of them do.
Right.
Depends on what kind of job you're working. If you're working in an office space, then there's no need for medical insurance.
Right. So the bottom line is there is traveling insurance in general, which is good. Be careful of the exclusions. Read the fine print. That's not a bad idea. And yes, they will fly your ass back to your home country if there is some sort of horrific emergency of some kind. Okay, cool. They do have local insurance you can buy here that would work just fine and treat you very, very well. They also have a national insurance for Vietnamese people, but that's not very relevant, for you all. Mm. But the most important thing that I want you to take away from this is you can get by with no insurance out here quite reasonably because most things are pretty cheap. A broken leg is 2 million, let's just say 3 million dong, so 150 bucks. Odds are real damn good that you're going to just pay way less if you just don't have any insurance at all and just make it happen out here. So mhm. So anyway, that's kind of the ideas on medicine and insurance and that kind of thing. So hopefully that kind of answers your questions, and feel free to fire away any questions that you've got. We can be as accurate as you want, or accurate as we can be. So is there a way to contribute to your channel? We appreciate all the time and energy you both invest on this live answering our questions. Oh, that's so nice of you. Actually, no, I do all this for free, of course. Yeah, that's all we're after here, Melo, is se puede seguir, gratis. Y como también, primera vez que nosotros estudiamos, juntos, es gratis. Y después de eso, clases, es muy barato. No preocupes.
I mean, on the topic of contribute, I think it could be nice if you could set up like a Patreon page.
I just go easy. Yeah, I just go easy. Hey, all I'm selling is helping you out and doing classes. That's it. I'm cool with that. So, but mostly Bong and I both love to help people. So this is one big idea. We love to help folks, and I personally am really passionate about Vietnam, so I can talk about Vietnam and helping people move here. I could do this all day long, every day, 7 days a week, and I sort of do. Yeah, so it's my pleasure. I guess I'll put it nice and simple that way.
If your destination is Saigon, then I would be more than happy to help out anyone that wants to have a life in Saigon.
Oh yeah, because you even teach Vietnamese here in Saigon, don't
you? Right now, I haven't started it yet, but I will. If given the opportunity, I do. But,
yeah, someone calls you up.
Mm-hmm. And Brad will give me all of my information, and maybe I could input my information into Brad's channel.
Right on. Well, we all work it out. But the thing is, I meet people all day long, every day, whether it's downtown, expats, locals, you name it. And in all cases, I get this snapshot of folks who have no idea what the hell's going on, living in an expat bubble, and they have a boring life, and life kind of sucks a little bit. And then I have absolutely amazing, stellar folks who have a completely fulfilled life and love every single day, and this is the pinnacle of their lives. We have the whole gamut, on both ends. And an example of this kind of life, I work at a hostel, and my roommates all live at home, and they all work at the hostel. When I have a day off, I go to the hostel. When I go on vacation, I go with other people that work at the hostel. And after 3 years, they're like, "Man, I'm getting bored here." I'm like, "No shit. You're in 2 geographical locations any given time and with the same people all day, every day. That's boring and that sucks. Have a fun life, an amazing life, and a beautiful life. That's the reason that you come to Vietnam in the first place, is to start over and start a new chapter. And that's really what bottom line, what we're here to help with. So, I'll put in the notes here contact information for both of us. Well, you can contact me easy enough. But including Bong here, and he would be delighted to, again, help out with anything or any specific questions you've got or whatever the case is.
And it's Bong, not Bong. B-O-N-G.
Yeah, it sounds like a weird name, and I've been mumbling it. Yep. Actually named Bong. I love it. But anyway, well, great. We'll No worries, buddy. No worries. No worries. Yeah, I did. No worries at all. So, point being, you guys, yeah, we're gonna wrap up here kind of soon. Get some chow going on, but we're gonna be live here next week. So be sure to subscribe to the channel here and get that little notification thing. And yeah, if you have any more questions or when you have more questions, just fire them away. Again, we'd be delighted to help. So terrific. I think I don't feel like you guys have any more questions right now. So hey, mentally prepare yourselves. Get excited. Get excited for what life can be out here. Get rid of your shit. Start downsizing, and get ready for some delicious food and beautiful waterfalls, y'all.
And the key to all this is your willingness to get out there and do things.
Mm-hmm. Start over. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, whatever the case is, and yeah, we'll see you next week, Lord willing, huh? Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Have a nice day, y'all.
Mm-hmm.